Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, June the 13th, 2022. It is currently 8:06 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from Abilene, Texas. And I have a very important message, a very important announcement for those of you who listen via YouTube. If you listen to me on YouTube, this is specifically for you. Anyone else can tune in right now. Anyone else can be listening, but this is specifically for YouTube listeners, all right? Today, I spent multiple hours doing live broadcast, multiple hours, somewhere around 3-4 hours of content, and none of it will show up on YouTube. None of it is going to make it to YouTube because of the controversial titles given to each episode. But if I didn't give it the titles that I did, people would not really know what it's about. But if I place anything on YouTube with these titles, their algorithm, they're going to immediately detect it, think that it's hate speech, think that it's promoting something that it's not, and they're going to immediately pull down, issue a strike, possibly even a ban. So we cannot post it on YouTube. It does not violate any of the community standards or any of the standards as given by YouTube. It's just they would see the titles, perceive that it violates it, and then give me a strike. I could then try to appeal. Hopefully they would agree. If not, it's too risky. It's too risky. So we're not going to post it on YouTube. So I'm going to tell you what we did today, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how you can hear all the content if you so desire. And I appreciate every single person who subscribes on YouTube. Even though that's not our focus, we're not a video podcast, we're an audio podcast. I still want to take some time to say, hey, you are a very important subscriber. Every single one of you who subscribe on YouTube, you're very important. We greatly appreciate it because you're choosing to listen to an audio podcast on YouTube. You could have clicked on it and go, oh, this is not video. Never mind. But for some reason, you stuck around and then you hit the subscribe button. And I want you to know that, hey, I appreciate you just as much as all the people who subscribe in all of the different podcasting apps. So I didn't want you to be overlooked or forgotten in any way, shape, or form. This is what we did today. We started the day earlier this morning by doing a podcast episode entitled Praying for a President's Demise. Someone who's in our government was at a Christian event and, decided to use that opportunity to talk about how they pray basically for the death of President Biden. It's a horrible misuse of scripture. It's horrible. The attitude is horrible. It's ungodly. And yet the Christians in the audience were cheering and applauding like it was some funny, great thing for someone to pray for the death of the president, someone who's a human being created in the image of God. Very disturbing story. We reported on it this morning. It's been posted everywhere else. But if I place something on YouTube called Praying for a President's Demise, even though I got a question mark there, they're going to be like, oh, and they're going to remove it. So we cannot do that. Then we spent close to 4 hours today. About 3 hours. I guess it'd be fair to say 3 hours doing two episodes, a part one and a part two called a sermon calling for the shooting of gay people. Sermon calling for the shooting of gay people. Now that definitely sounds like that it's a sermon promoting that, but no, we reviewed a sermon that calls for the shooting of gay people. And obviously I critiqued it. I condemned it. Their misuse of scripture is absolutely horrifying, but it's all over the news about this sermon preached at a church in Texas where someone called for I'm just going to give you the way the article reads and the way what was actually said in the sermon. Gay people should be lined up against a wall and shot in the back of the head. That was actually preached in a church from a pulpit with someone holding a Bible with children present in the sanctuary. It is a horrible, disturbing story, but instead of just reporting on the story, we almost reviewed most of the sermon, but you get to hear all of the parts that everyone is talking about. Again, that is called Sermon Calling for the Shooting of Gay People, Part 1 and part 2. So the 3 messages that will not appear on YouTube today: praying for a president's demise, sermon calling for the shooting of gay people, part 1 and part 2. Now, the best way to hear all of that and to be able to listen when we're actually live on the air is simple. Go to either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Do a search for Church O-N-E. That's Church O-N-E. Church O-N-E, Church One. Once you download the app, you'll have to do a search for Theology Central. Make us your preferred broadcaster, your chosen broadcaster. That will turn the Church One app into the Theology Central app. And then guess what? You'll have access to everything that can't be on YouTube, because there's lots of things that will never show up on YouTube because they will get banned or blocked, or we'll get a strike, or we're going to get banned. So we have to be careful and wise. You can look at all of the series. And not only this, if you'll turn on the notifications within the Church One app, guess what? You'll be notified every time I'm live on the air. You'll be notified every time we upload a new message, and you'll be notified whenever I send out a push notification, maybe telling you when I'm going to go live, or maybe a quote of the day or anything like that. So please consider the Church One app, Church O-N-E, Church O-N-E. If you download it, please let me know what you think about it. Do you like it? What do you not like about it? You can always email me, newsif@yahoo.com. That's newsif@yahoo.com. But I wanted everyone on YouTube to know, you see, I'm getting all kinds of things going on here. I'm getting all kinds of notifications here. All right. Hopefully that did not stop our broadcast. Hopefully it did not. So let me say this again to everyone who's listening on YouTube. I'm going to send this over to YouTube as soon as I'm done talking. Please consider downloading the Church One app so that you can hear all of the messages you missed from today. And I hope that you find them to be beneficial and challenging, even if you disagree with them. At least download the app just to listen to them. And then if you need to, delete the app. But it doesn't take up much space on your device. And it's just, we go live so many hours a week that there's a lot of content you may be missing. So, I mean, yeah, if YouTube is your preferred place to hang out, I understand. And I'll try to send everything I can to there, but they just have look, we've never had an episode banned, blocked. We've never had an issue on any other platform, and just remember, our podcast is available on every podcasting app on the planet Earth, on the face of the planet, on planet Earth. I mean, we are everywhere from Pandora, Deezer, Amazon Music, Google, Apple Podcast. I mean, you just name the podcast app, we are there. And we've never had not even a slightest problem, not even a hint of a problem. But YouTube, we've come so close to being banned so many times. Now, there was a time that they were almost literally, they would not even try to listen to us. They would say, your content was banned for this. I would immediately respond, that is not true. That never occurs in the episode. You're basing it off the title, and immediately respond saying, we reviewed it, you're wrong. Boom, we removed your content. If you do it 2 more times, you're banned. And you're like, wow. Like you couldn't even speak to, like there was no one to talk to, no one really to go, you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. But hopefully now we've got everything. I think we've been on a pretty good run with YouTube without any problems. And make it very clear, I'm not sitting here saying I'm being persecuted and it's censorship. It's their platform. They can decide whatever they want to be on their platform. I understand that. So that's why we place our content on every platform we can find. Because if 3 of them say we don't want you, as long as we've got 3 others, well, then you always have a way to find our content. Right now, Church One seems to be a very good fit for us. And so we're really trying to promote that. That's Church O-N-E. Once you download the app, do a search for Theology Central, and you'll find everything. If you have any questions, any problems, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Simply email me, and I will respond as soon as possible with whatever assistance you need to get the app on your device. Yeah, I'll try to act like I'm technical support, okay? I'll do my best. But, well, here in just a few minutes, I'll probably be live again on the Church One app. So download the Church One app right now. All right, thanks for listening. I hope the messages prove to be somewhat beneficial. God bless.